again, everybody. Boyd here with you, and welcome back. This is part 13 of our Enterprise Refit build series. Today we're going to be taking you through some more Aztec painting on the side of the secondary hull here. I've got my mask ready, and what I'm going to start off with here today, guys, is I'm going to show you that there's a little technique. We've cut out our mask, and we've applied our transfer tape on here, and there's a little nifty little trick for getting this all off of here in one piece. It's a little bit tedious, but you've got to take your time. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on this for you so you can see it. And we're going to start getting it off of here. You want to go and flip this upside down, and you want to start rolling this backing paper back off of this with your hands. You got to kind of snag a front piece of the transfer tape here, and you're going to apply pressure as you're rolling this back off of here. And this will help you a lot for like not pulling up the masks as you do this. And once you get it started, you just kind of keep even pressure on it and work your way back. If you do get a little piece of mask that comes up, don't panic. Just let it stick to it or roll it back and forth a couple times and get it to go back down on there. And just continue on. If you do get it a little bit stuck to the backing, just let it go, and then you can take your tweezers and lift it off of there and just gently put it back in place once we've got this transferred over to the model. You can see this is rolling off of here pretty smooth. This is a method that Brett recommends on his instructional video from Orbital Drydock. We're just about to the end here, looking good. Again, I'm keeping constant pressure, downward pressure on this all the way to the end here. Alright, so we got that off of there in one piece. Now we're going to go ahead and move it over to the model here. I'll zoom in just a little bit closer for that. And let's go ahead and lay this down. We've got it all masked off, so we're going to just lay it nicely in this little slot here, lining up our edges. And you want to make sure that you just kind of lightly touch this on here until you're really sure that it's going to line up correctly, and then you can start pushing down. Okay, so we've got that down on there now, and what we're going to do is take our little squeegee tool here, and we're going to start just rubbing this. You can't hurt the paint on the model. We've got this protective backing tape on here, so we don't have to worry about that. And it's not going to stick all together on the model when you do this. So what you're going to do is just get it down on there and do the best you can. And then we're going to use that same method of rolling this tape off to get the to leave the masks on the model here and not pull them up with. But again, if you do pull one or two of them up, don't worry, you'll see where they go. You can kind of look at it and figure it out. And you can just take your tweezers and gently put them back on the model. Okay, so I'm just kind of going over this really good here. Okay, we've got it pretty well rubbed down, so I'm going to start on the top edge here, and I'm going to start rolling these back. And this is kind of tedious. And you can see that some of them are trying to come up already. And I'm just going to try to get a little edge started there so I can get my fingers on that leading edge there and just kind of hold them down and start peeling back. Okay, I've got those down. There's a little fine edge on here that's wanted to pop up on me, so I'm just going to use my tweezer to stick that one back down. And like I said, if these start to come up on you guys, don't panic. You can work them back in place. These are low tack enough where you'll be able to pick them off of this backing tape and put them back on the model with no problem. And you can figure out where they go, just sort of like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, we've got that forward edge started now. We'll go work our way back towards the rear here. And again, just using that same kind of rolling method. And after a while, after you start getting used to working with these, you'll really get a good feel for it. Your hands will start kind of learning your muscle memory will kind of start working there in your hands, and you'll start getting really getting the hang of this as you get closer to get farther into this project. Okay, we're just about to the bottom there. I see I've got one that lifted up on me, so what I'm going to do is just get it back down on the model, and then we'll just take our tweezers and gently move that one here in a minute. Okay, one there. Okay, so now we're clear with our transfer tape. I'm just going to take my tweezers here and I'm just going to gently move this one back into position. You can lift it up very easily and put him back in place there. Okay, we've got him back in place and they all look good. They look nice and even. And I'm just going to gently rub these down now and make sure they're bonded nice, because you do get a couple little wrinkles here and there. I notice that I have a little bit of a gap there at the front, so I'm going to mask this. We don't want overspray getting on that. We want a nice straight line there, so we'll do that. We've got this, as you'll see what I'm going to do here, this particular panel has a nice sort of a brick pattern to it. Almost looks like brick and mortar. And what we're going to do is we're going to peel this inner grid first, which is going to give us all these beautiful little lines in the center of the pattern. I've already done the other side, and I'll show you that when we finish up here. Right now I'm just making a little mask for this just by our Arboretum window here. I'll leave just a little bit of, make a little mark where we want to cut. Okay. All right. I want to leave just a little bit around that window frame to kind of highlight that and leave enough of an edge there where we can see our, I call it the mortar pattern. It looks like brick and mortar detail on this. And this particular area of the model of the refit here only has a gold color on this. So we're only going to be spraying one color here. And we're going to go with that right there. So that looks good. Okay, so now we're going to proceed with removing this inner pattern, and this is a little bit time consuming, so just kind of bear with me here, guys. I'll tilt the camera up for you and get you a little bit closer to this. And let's begin. I'm putting on my little magnifying visor here so I can see what I'm doing. I mentioned in that first video how important that is. You've got to really be able to look closely at these masks because they are very hard to see where the cut lines are. So I'm going to start off right here in this little section right here. I can see a spot that's loose, and you can see we're going to start pulling this little grid off of here. And you see that beautiful brick pattern that's been revealed? That's just absolutely gorgeous. That's going to look really nice. I'll show you this up close here for a second. You can see that. We pulled that off there right away, so that's good. Okay, and then we're going to continue on with that. Some of them are just individual lines, and some of them go all the way through here. One vertical one there. That one. They can be a little tricky to get a hold of. I really like this pair of tweezers that I have too, because the tips on them are not sharp, so I won't scratch my paint or anything like that. I got these at my local hobby shop. Couldn't tell you what the brand name is. Well, actually, maybe it does say something on here. Let's see. Nope, but you can find these. They're a number 7 pair of tweezers is what it says on them. But I picked these up at my local hobby town, and just for the purpose of doing this kind of work, and I really like how they work. It is a lot better to use these than trying to get this off of here with a hobby knife, where you can have, you can scratch your paint. Okay, we're working our way towards the rear here. Everything's looking really good. And anywhere I'm lifting up the masks a little bit, I just kind of go over them here and tack them back down. I'll move around if I try a couple of times and I can't get it to lift, I'll move to another spot and start working on it. You don't want to keep picking and picking at the same spot and maybe damage the mask or something like that, and that usually works. Get them to where they're a little bit stubborn. There we go. And just like I said, this is a little bit tedious, but if you want the beautiful Aztec paint job on your refit here, this is the effort that you've got to put in. And believe me, it all pays off in the end, guys. When you finish this model up and you're staring at it, sitting beautifully on your shelf after it's all over, you'll have no memory of doing all this work, and you'll have a beautiful model in your collection. So it's all worth it, guys. Just to pass the time a little bit while we're working here, guys, I've been watching the new Cosmos television show. I hope you guys are watching that out there. I find that if you're doing I'm a big fan of the original, and I hope you guys are checking that out. It's a wonderful show. Those of us that are into, most of us that are into this sci-fi stuff are into things like that too. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. It's very, very well done, and I was pleased to see that some of the people that were all involved in Star Trek The Next Generation are working on that, and Brandon Braga, and I believe Seth MacFarlane is producing it. Obviously, him being a big Star Trek fan, so that's pretty cool. And I've enjoyed every episode so far. Very entertaining and very well done. You can see we're getting very close to the end here, guys. One more little tiny one here, just hiding out on me at the end. Okay, and I've disturbed these masks a little bit, so I'll just work these back into place. Again, Brett's done such a wonderful job with this set. He's got these masks nice and low tack now, just perfect for airbrush artists, where you can be assured that they will stick and you're not going to blow them off and get overspray all over everything, but they are very easily removed when you're done, and that's the key to using these and turning out a nice clean job. They're definitely not too sticky and not sticky enough. They're just right. Okay guys, so we've got this laid out here. I'll tighten up on it just a little bit here for you so you can see it a little bit better. So we're at the stage now where we're going to be spraying this. Now I'm going to be using just gold only, as I mentioned, so I'm going to go over this whole thing here, and then we're going to see that we have a reference photo from the Trek Modeler Aztec painting guide for this model, and I'll show you that reference. You'll be able to see that after that we're just going to simply pull some of these individual panels here at random and spray those again in gold, and we'll spray that on really lightly. We're going to purposely spray on our grid a little bit on the heavy side here so we make sure we see this, And then when we spray on our secondary, when we pull these others off, we don't want to wipe out that line that's right next to it. We want to see the gold, but we want to see that little line right next to it too. So let me get my airbrush ready and load it up with the color, and we'll be right back and show you how that goes, guys. Be right back. So here we are again, and we're back and ready to start spraying our gold iridescent paint on this. We have everything ready to go. Everything's looking good. I've dusted over this a little bit with my tack rag to make sure that we don't have any dust or anything on it. And the paint is loaded in the gun, so let's tighten up on this and take you through how we spray this. Again, as I talked about before, guys, you're going to pay attention to your masks. That's how you can tell with this iridescent paint how much paint you're getting on this. It's almost invisible, like I said, and so you want to make sure that you're putting it on evenly and that you're getting enough paint on this. As I mentioned, we want to make this initial pattern here a little bit on the dark side because we want to keep that detail. So here we go. Little test shot here. Spraying good. Okay, I'm just going to start working my way over this evenly. Alright, and you can see we've got a nice even spray on our mask here, so I'm just going to go over it once more. Staying about 4 or 5 inches away from it. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to dry it real quick with our heat gun like we always do. And then we're going to start removing some of these other masks. Alright, now let me grab my reference paper here and so you guys can see what we're talking about. This is the actual diagram from the Trek Modeler Painter's Guide, and you can see basically what we have here is just we have this gold pattern here, and then we have these panels that we're just going to lift off certain ones here and there, and then we're going to achieve that same result. So I've got my tweezers here ready. We're going to start off towards the rear, and we can see we've got one right about in here that you can see we have this one down below it that's still covered, so I'm going to take this one off the top right here. Alright, and then up farther here, skipping about 2 rows, we've got these here that are going to come off, and it looks like that's all one solid area. So we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to take these off here. And that goes for about, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rows. So we're going to do this entire area here. See how easily and nicely these masks come off? It's absolutely a pleasure to work with. Let me tighten up on this for you here just a little bit so you can see better. Okay, and then so we skipped a row there, and we got 2 more rows to skip, and then we're going to take this one down here. Okay, and then we've got one up here at the top, and we skip a couple rows, and then we've got a whole section here again that's all solid gold. Let's do that. Alright, and then we've got 3 of them right near the arboretum here that are solid gold as well. This one. Okay, and it looks like this thick one here too, so we'll take that one. Okay, so looking at this, when I'm looking at this now, I see that we're kind of looking all too much gold here, even though that's kind of the way they want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these masks back on to kind of break this up a little bit. Again, like we talked about last time, guys, artistic choice, just what you think looks good. So I am going to place this mask back on. Just to break it up a little bit there. Okay? And let me see, let's do one of these smaller ones too. Let's put that one back on. Oops, I got it upside down. Sticky side down, that's important. Might take me just a second to line this up. I don't want to overlap our little brick pattern there. Okay, so just to break that up a little bit, give it something kind of interesting. And then moving forward, let's do a couple of these. And let's do this one. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So let's start thinking about spraying this now. I'm going to break this up just a little bit back here too, guys. I want a little bit of color towards the rear here. Again, talking to Paul Olson, and after I did the interview with him in LA, even more kind of reinforced that he did a lot of this stuff at random, guys, so we don't have to do exactly the same thing every time. That's part of the fun of all of this. So we can kind of look at it like that. And again, I think I'm going to break this one up here just a little bit too, guys. I don't like having just a solid gold thing here right in the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one about halfway down. Okay, I like that. That one's really losing a little bit of its stick already. Just take a look at it here. You got to kind of imagine in your mind what it's going to look like when you spray it. Let's break this up here a little bit too. Okay. And let's add one right in here. Just to break it up, like I said. Make it interesting. Alright, so I'm liking how that looks right now. I don't trust this mask though. I can see it's already lifting, so we're not going to use that one. It's lost a little bit of its adhesion there, it looks like. So we're going to go ahead and do a different one here. And we'll do the same thing. We'll put it, let's put it about halfway up the center there. Get an interesting look on that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and spray the second coat of gold on here, and we're going to go really lightly on this one, guys, really lightly, because we don't want to obscure those original gold lines that we created with that fine kind of brick pattern. So let's power up our gun here. Test shot. Alright, I'm just going to back off a little further, maybe about 5 inches, and just lightly dust this on. Mask going to lift. Alright, that looks good. We can see our color and we can still see our patterns there. Again, you might not be able to even see any difference on this right now because, and that's the important step that I want to keep highlighting, guys, is that when the masks are on this and the masking tape is on it, you can't see the paint on here really. So what I'm going to do now is start taking all this off and reveal this to you, and you're going to see how it's just going to pop right out once we get done with this. Alright, time to start lifting our masks off here real gently. I really enjoy doing this, guys. It makes this model just absolutely jump to life. And it's such a beautiful pattern. I can only imagine what this thing looked like at 8 feet long when Paul first finished painting it. It must have been absolutely gorgeous. He said it time and time again that there's just really no way to describe how it looked. It just kind of had to be there. You can see I'm getting these taken down pretty quick here. Not a problem at all to get rid of these masks. I haven't had one single lifting paint issue or anything like that. Again, thanks to Brett engineering this set out and working all the bugs out of it and making it a real pleasure for us modelers to work with. We've got a little ways to go on this. The panels that we're going to be working on next, which is this area right here, which we'll show you in the next video, that's when we're going to start to have a lot of fun, because that's where we see on the Enterprise Refit that there is a multitude of different colors. All 4 of the colors are in use on this side panel here, and that's what really starts making it look like the refit, when it does that, like you saw in the film when it passes by, and then up onto the pylons. That's where, you know, those beautiful thunderbolts that are up there in the different colors, and we're really going to have some fun with that when we get to that, guys. So you can look forward to that. And I want to say I'm really glad to hear I've gotten a lot of messages and emails and things like that that you guys are enjoying this, you know, showing this step by step, and it's helping you out. So I'm really glad to hear that, and that's why we do these. Alright, we've got that all removed. Let's go ahead and back the camera up just a little bit here. And we'll pick this thing up here and show you. Let's get this tilted up a little bit here so you can see it in the light. And if I can tilt this just the right way, you can see all that beautiful panel detail coming through. And we saved all that. Perhaps it might be better like this. You can see that we saved all those little patterns alongside the gold where we sprayed it too, guys, talking about doing that, you know, a little bit lighter on the edges. And that is going to look absolutely gorgeous. You can see we've got the belly there, and then you tilt this, and here's the other side. Get rid of this excess tape. And you can see we've got this beautiful, beautiful pattern on here, guys. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Alright, everybody, well, that's going to do it for this one. We're just kind of creeping along here, taking our time, but we'll be back very shortly in another day or two. As I mentioned, we've wrapped up some of these other little projects I've got here. I've got a really cool little project on the side that I'm wrapping up for tenant controls that I'll show you guys in the next couple of days. But we're going to be focused steadily on the refit here and get this one wrapped up. My goal is to have this one done in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get that done and then we'll move on to the next big project. So take care out there, everybody. We'll see you next time, and until we do, build those models, have fun. Happy modeling, everyone.